told me how to do a 5 on the layback.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do because he's a little long in the body too. Yeah. So I'm going to use a 5 comb because I just like how the combs look on them better if I'm trying to make, if they're not insisting that I make it super short, I much prefer to use combs because it leaves more texture. Again, that goes back to the whole, we don't want them to look precisely perfect with precise lines. We want everything to be blended. Isn't she the sweetest thing ever? I know, I just love her.
I asked her to come over to me. She darted away and jumped right into
Oh, well, yeah.
betrayal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a traitor. She's a traitor.
She just likes to make me jealous.
Either that or, you know, you might have food.
You see what I do with other people? We're at home.
So, again, he's a little bit long in the body. So we're going to take this 5 down the side of the neck. Don't come up too far. Pretend it's a Bichon. You want this whole head left. Into the shoulder layback, like so. And then I'm also going to take it across the front too, because I want him to look a little bit shorter in the body. And if I leave too much up front, he's going to look a lot longer. Hey, stop it. What'd I say? So these guys do get a keel. I'll flip him back around here in a second because he's being fussy. And by a keel, what I mean is they get some hair left in between their front legs and on their chests. A Schnauzer does not. Schnauzer is a long-legged terrier, not a short-legged terrier. So what you do, if you're worried about how to do it or where to put it, run your fingers down the front, and where they dip into that chest bone, that's what you want to save. Make sense?
Yeah. I had a teacher in school say it was called exposing the butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Because she did a lot of Schnauzer.
Right.
They have that
Yep.
phantom pattern there that kind of...
They do have that butterfly, yeah. But if you got a solid colored dog, that doesn't work.
You get like a third leg.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep.
It's a third leg. Don't cut the hair off the third leg.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but you know, don't do that on a Schnauzer because they don't want it. Okay, so just that in itself makes him look like he's a little bit shorter in body, just by taking that off. All right.
His back leveled out pretty nice.
Yep. We take that out, and I think I'm probably just going to leave this. I might fluff it a little bit and take the thinners to it, but
That's go home and they're like, "Your light looks better."
I don't get it. Yeah. What did they do? Okay, we're just going back there again. I don't know what they did, but I like it.
I like it.
That's a lot. It can be as much as shaving the little lip things on a Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
They'll either come back that they hate it, or they'll be like, I don't know what you did, but he was so cute. You're like, okay, I didn't do that again. Oh, actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 5 up the base of his tail too. So something, there's a lot of room for misinterpretation when you learn to groom. And what I was taught when I was taught terriers is to only trim off the top of the tail with a blade and not the bottom. And I could never figure out why it didn't look right or what I was doing. It's actually the opposite. So either I misinterpreted it or they didn't know what the heck they were teaching me. I love Tasha, but you know. So just with the base of the tail, because you want that to be flatter. Why? Because their tail is actually set up high on their body. And their tail, why is their tail so thick? Why is it supposed to be so thick? Yeah, very good. They go in a hole after something and you can pull them out by it and it doesn't hurt them. Now, there is a new thing that they don't want you picking them up off of the table like that. Like when you show dogs, they used to pick them up like that.
By the tail?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, you pick them up by the front and by the tail. So I agree with it and I disagree with it. Okay, so I agree with it in that, let's think about this. Okay, if they were going into a burrow after a badger or a rat or a whatever, we would be pulling them straight out like this, okay? That's in alignment with their spine.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me why picking them up this way would be a problem, because they've always done it. But now what are you doing? You're almost dislocating that tail by picking it straight up, and it's not supposed to be. Now, granted, we don't grab them up here. We grab them down here and we pick them up like that. Okay, they do this. All right, and that's fine. But if you do it all the time, constantly, you know, you might be causing some damage in their back area, and they already have issues because they're low slung and they're short and they got short legs, and you know, so we don't want to add to that. But I don't have a problem with people picking up terriers by their tails. You know, if they've got a long fat tail like that, that's what it's for. But in general, I don't think we should be doing it all the time, because really what they were made for was pulling straight like this. And you see, he's fussy. He was fussing earlier about all kinds of stuff, but he don't care if I do this. It's DNA. It's built into them. It's literally not a problem. He's like, okay, whatever. So, you know, my friend Lisa pointed that out to me at one point. I think I don't know who it was, but I picked somebody up off a table like that, and she was like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. And I'm like, why? And she explained it to me, and I was like, oh, okay. I get it. We don't pick them up like that. We pick them up like this. You know, you pull them out of the back of the burrow and then they would snatch them up, you know, so that way they didn't get hurt or get stuck or, you know, whatever they were doing. That's their job. All right, so where was I? Let's see. Ears. All right. So this is set on a 30. And like I said, generally what I do is I do more like a Yorkie first, because I want to see the ear. I want to see how big the ear is. I've not groomed this dog before, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to do just the very tip first to see where we are.
You can always take more.
You can always take more off. You can't stick it back on.
That was my hand for a long time.
Right.
I was like, I don't know. I'm going for just the
right.
tip. But
yeah.
It seems like I'm taking more. So now I'm just like, just a very little.
Yep.
And then
so you see, and then if he comes back regular, then obviously it's not grown out this much and you can see where it is. But the ear is going to start to look better already, because we're just going to take off the proper amount, and then more of this stuff is going to stick out. So it's going to be a little bit better. But I'm just going to do basically the quarter, because again, you don't want to see the whole ear. And actually, when you do these guys, this stuff should be covering up the ear hole. Why?
Dirt.
Right. You want to keep dirt and stuff out of their ears when they're digging around in those tunnels. So there's a reason for everything we do with these haircuts too. So unless he has some kind of a physical defect, you can pretty much be assured that the other ear is about the same. And I love this clipper because it's so quiet. And this one is about nearing the end of its life. It's starting to make a little mee noise and this and that, but I've been using it, well, since I gave Bree hers. Do you remember when I gave you yours? That was almost a year ago. Yeah, it was at least 6 to 8 months ago, and this is a $40.
My other one still works, because I bought a second one. The one still works. I just have to oil it. I blow it out and oil it out every single time.
Right.
But it still will snag. I mean, I could just replace the blade on it.
Yeah. Oh, and so I found 3 more blades in one of my storage things. So just so you know, I have some.
Yep, I didn't even know I could replace a blade.
Right. So see that?
Instructions are correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's easy. So it already looks a little bit better because we took less off than they did. All right. So we're going to be almost where we want it to be, but it's still going to be a little bit too short between the ears. But that's part of what goes into that round chrysanthemum look. So we're not going to be taking off very much here or very much here. We're going to pull a little bit of this off because we've got this, you know, that's the biggest mistake with Westies is we make this jowl thing. What is that? I don't know who taught us to do that. Where did that come from? Yeah, it's like, just leave that part because we want to make it round. No. So we haven't, did we put any mousse or anything In the head, it doesn't feel like it. Okay, so we're just gonna go with some spray. If he doesn't freak out. Good boy. And always try to come from behind, so that way you don't get it in their eyes.
All my things in the open.
I'm just making sure that I'm going to see if he has fur balls.
And now you can cut hair after you put product in it, but just make sure you clean your scissors. And cleaning your scissors is really just as simple as putting some oil on them and rubbing the oil down the whole blade and then wiping them off, just so you get the product off of your shears. So see, that's already a little bit better, just from texture spray.